Hey, what's going on, my friends? This is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And my friends, welcome back. We've got, you guessed it, yet another amazing guest this morning. Um, this gentleman is a full-time maintenance supervisor. He's gained a following through quality content. He's actually joining us from his car this morning. This guy is at the beginning of his journey, and he's crushing it. He's got a bright future. I can't wait to catch up with him. With that being said, Jesse, welcome to the show, brother.
Morning, Dave. How are you?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm fantastic. Thanks for joining me. I see you're in the car. What area of the country are you calling in from?
I'm calling from North Georgia. So it's been pretty hot and humid here, as I'm sure you can relate to. So
Yeah, brother. Yeah. So, are you working today? Are you still working a full-time job?
yes, sir. I'm working today. So it's kind of, I was telling Joanne, this is kind of where it all started, going through the challenge and stuff was in my vehicle, to and from work and,
Mm.
meeting with Beth, my advisor and all that. So I thought it was kind of, you know, to start right here and just, go ahead and do it from the car. So
Bring it back to the roots.
yes, sir.
All right, sweet, man. Well, what was the thing that kind of got you interested, open, or motivated to wanting to start an online business here in the first place?
Well, working full time with my current job and stuff like that, I've always kind of relied on overtime and such like that and doing side jobs on the weekend. I've always kind of had an interest in learning about creating extra income and stuff like that online, but kind of never really knew how or how to get started. And, it wasn't something that I was particularly looking to do, but I kind of just ran across it and, did some research and, obviously went through the challenge and, just kind of dove right in, and just kind of took what I learned. And you have to kind of learn how to manage your time, when you're working full time and such. And, hence the why a lot of it takes about a 25-minute commute for me to get to work. So, the phone was right here going through the challenge, the different training courses and course watching, some wake up legendaries and just kind of soaking up as much information, as I could. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, good for you, man. I mean, are you looking to kind of transit, and not to lead you to bashing your job or anything here. I'm sure you
right.
love your job and your boss and all the people that we got the infamous Phil Kohlberger, who's giving me shit about having gray in my beard here. Hey, quiet in the peanut gallery over there. Anyways, he of course infamously got on lives and was talking crap about his boss and how he had to babysit all of his employees and ended up getting fired. He had his company shirt on with the logo on it. So at least you're smarter than that than doing
Yeah, I wore a different shirt today, so try to look a little presentable for the show. So
So are you, I mean, what's your end game? I mean, do you want to kind of work from home full time? I mean, what's your like dream ideal scenario?
well, to be completely honest, my current job, it's pretty flexible, so I have, I can kind of do as I need, and it's not something I'm just immediately looking to get out of. But of course, I'm trying to scale and start my online business, and my wife, she's a full-time nurse, so
Hmm.
the goal would be if I could ever somewhat match or get close to, her income, I would love for her to be able to stay home, but I'm going to replace her 9 to 5 before I replace mine. So
Hey, brother, match. You're gonna blow it out of the water. I mean,
that's the goal. So
well, I believe wholeheartedly. I mean, you've done some pretty amazing things here so far. Built a social media account with over 100,000 followers, I think.
mhm.
Um, let's go back to just the learning, learn, launch, lead. Let's kind of break it down in the three, because I mean, you're leading now, which is so cool that you shared with me at the beginning this is your first live, because looking at you on the just on the internet, on social media, I mean, you're rocking and rolling, man. I mean, again, got over 100,000 followers, crushing it, creating great content. um Congratulations for being here, doing your first live, stepping through that kind of newness. I know that's always uncomfortable the first time, but so is everything. And you look great, and it's all good. You're still alive, you're still breathing, heart still pumping. Just so everybody can see, we do things that are uncomfortable, and we still live to see another day. Take us back to that learning phase, man. What was that like for you going through the challenge? I think you invested in the blueprints, like just kind of soaking up the information. What were some of the light bulbs that went off for you, and got you really saying to yourself, hey, I want to take this serious and kind of pursue this full time?
Well, in the beginning, I think it was around the end of February is when I started the challenge, and then I think March is when I invested into the blueprints. And I spent about the whole month of March just getting everything set up, and I didn't have any information, so obviously I wanted to make sure I educated, got where I was confident enough to launch my business. So I start my first Instagram account that I started. I posted on it for about a month, and my views were like really, really low. And I just had a kind of a feeling that something wasn't quite right with it. Um, I don't know what it was. I think the first post I was doing, I was on Instagram, and I accidentally uploaded the video before I even had my content put on there. So, I don't know if that was kind of a red flag. But anyways, long story short, I kind of we were going on vacation, and I haven't really planned on, how to do content, stuff like that through vacation. So I took about a week off, and then started the new account, the current one I have now. And I know I watched the show yesterday from you and Sean, and he's real big about just content and having, bunches of B-roll and stuff like that. So I spent, a couple of days with my new page and having all that, you know, B-roll and stuff like that, and quality video, and then just kind of started from there,
Mm.
But, I kind of made the basics that I had all the knowledge and stuff like that first before I actually, you know, brought it into my content. So,
Mm. Yeah. Um, well, that's so important. I hope everybody heard what you just said, taking the time to actually go through the education. I mean, this is just such an obvious but often overlooked thing, just going through what you buy. I know it sounds simple, but it really needs to be pointed out and said. I can't tell you how many people over the years I've met who are, quote, struggling, but just didn't take the time to actually invest the time and energy. And you can't just buy something and expect that. Doesn't work like that anywhere. I mean, you don't just buy a tool and magically now all of a sudden you can build a house, or you can, construct something with, as a carpenter. You got to learn how to use the tools, man, or else you're going to, in that case, hurt yourself. Thank God these are not tools that you can cut your finger off with or whatever. They just don't do anything. It's like, doesn't matter how much you look at them and say, make me money. They don't get up and operate themselves. The videos don't post themselves. They don't record themselves. The funnels don't build themselves. The emails don't send themselves. You have to learn how to do it, and then you have to do it. That's why we call it learn, launch, lead, this current challenge that we're running. So what was it like for you to launch? I mean, you're doing your first live today. Again, big deal, stepping into that uncomfortability. What was it like? I can imagine the anxiety was sky high when you went to launch as well. That's just my guess. How did you push through that? What was that experience like? Did it get easier?
Yeah, it got easier, and I'll speak on my page that I have now. And one thing that I tried to do with this page is, there's a lot of different people. They'll want to follow a lot of people within their niche, and then some say, don't do all that. Well, I've kind of had enough time to do some research, and so I kind of found 4 to 5, creators within my niche and stuff like that. And I tried not to reinvent the wheel too much. Kind of modeled what was working. And one thing you'll learn too is, the different styles of marketing. Like, it's kind of hard in the beginning when you're not getting much engagement, but once you start getting engagement, you can kind of see, which post gets leads, which posts, there's motivational stuff and personal stuff. But one thing in the beginning that helped me was just, modeling and just kind of not getting too far off the wheel. And I've yet to do any talking videos. Like, most of it's just kind of B-roll and stuff like that. And a lot of people are always worried about the friends and family and stuff like that. But it kind of happened to me. I'm 35, so you're kind of at that age where you don't really care too much about others' opinions, because they're not paying your bills, they're not trying to support your family, stuff like that. So you kind of, in the beginning, once you kind of get the video creation down and you add it and you put the words on the screen and you add some nice music to it, it's not as uncomfortable posting anything, because you watch it and you feel confident in it. And then, once
You're
you
like,
start
this is pretty decent stuff here.
yeah, it's pretty decent. Like I said, once you start getting your views, you're doing something right. You're just waiting, waiting for the engagement and stuff like that. And once it happens, then you can kind of get a better feel of actual what works and what doesn't work, and just stuff like that. And I'm sure a lot of people would probably look at my page and say, well, he's only been posting for a couple of months and he's got it all figured out. But anybody watching this, I'm still learning to this day. Like, it's a constant learning and trial and trying different things, and such like and stuff like that, and just kind of seeing what works.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, no, I hope nobody looks at me and thinks that I've got it all figured out. I mean, it really is. It's constantly not only learning, but it's also, you don't know something until you actually implement it.
Mm-hmm.
You can sit there and think that you know it. You watched a couple of videos, you took this course, that course, did this, did that, spent five. You don't know nothing until you actually implement it. I mean, that's why, in life, people who, sit on the sidelines or on the couch yelling at the TV are hilarious. I mean, it's this fake reality that we create in our head, that where we think that we know something. We think that we can do something better than somebody else. I mean, that's the greatest example, is just sitting on the couch and yelling at the guys on the field, right? On the TV, thinking that we could run the ball better, faster, throw it longer or more accurately. It's like, most guys couldn't even grip a football, let alone throw it. And here, men all over the world are yelling at the TV, and I'm not talking about in a playful way. I'm talking about guys who, really, there's like there's this weird, this weird kind of misunderstanding that you think that you could do it better, better. It's like, the knowing is in the application. The knowing is not in the being able to think about something or even feel that you understand something. The knowing's in the application. And that's why learning is about launching, and learning is about doing it. It's one of the greatest um, lessons I ever got about that was working construction with my dad. Called it OJT, baby, on the job training. There was no classroom. It was you watched him do it once or twice, and then I did it moving forward. And if I did it, you know all about that, working with your hands and
Visual learner.
Visual learner, baby. That's the tech. That's a nice technical way to say it, right? Visual learner. Get that booty in there and take some swings, man. And that's how you learn. And somehow, some way along the way, we forgot about that, or we got too much into this classroom learning. I think that's one of the downsides of traditional education, Jesse, is that, we sit in damn classrooms for too long. We sit in classrooms and we think that learning, is all about being in the classroom, and you get, maybe it is in some parts of the world. It never was. I thank God that's part of the benefit of being a ninth grade dropout. And I know it's like, whoa, what benefits are there to being a ninth grade dropout, Dave? Come on. It's like, man, I did not get that experience of sitting in that classroom for a decade after, all through high school and then college. I did not get that benefit, or that, that kind of training to just sit there and take in information. What comes up for you around this kind of, Nicole calls it trial by fire. I mean, marketing is all about testing. How have you shifted any limiting beliefs you had around this? And what limiting beliefs still come up for you that you have to, besides just basic anxieties around doing new things, which is so common, Jesse, and I hope that everybody feels anxious about doing new stuff and getting on camera. But what limiting beliefs came up for you that you remember, or are still coming up that you're battling through, that people wouldn't know if they were just looking at your videos?
One thing for me, like, a big part of this, and how you connect with your audience, is like bringing in your story and like your personal touch and stuff. And so I feel like a lot of people, that very first post or even early on, like, do I just put my whole story out there? Do I just put bits and pieces throughout my content? So one thing that I've done, I didn't feel too comfortable putting everything out there, but I'm bringing my story kind of in my content a little at a time. And the one video that I have that I gained a majority of my following off of, it was relatable and within my niche and stuff like that, and value. And then right in the middle was just two sentences about what I dealt with, and stuff, and what I'm trying to accomplish. And it kind of, just that little piece, connected with so many people. So that's kind of been my struggle, but I'm trying to bring that, more and more into my content, just because it is the easiest way to connect with people and stuff like that, is just, your story, or just little pieces of it. Cause that's all it really takes sometimes. So that
Yeah.
was one thing that I kind of struggled with, but like I said, it's getting easier and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Well, and you point out, you make an important point there and bring something up, about, this feeling that your first video has to be some big introduction out to the world. It doesn't, folks. It doesn't. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to tell your story in any way, shape, or form on any first video, second video. It is, people, honestly, they don't care about your story until you've delivered enough value, edutainment, that they're interested in you. That if they wanted to hear somebody's story, they would just go down to the local homeless guy and just say, "Hey, man, what's life been like? Tell me your story." People are not waking up looking to hear people's story. They're interested in your story if they've been watching you and you've demonstrated yourself to be an interesting person and a valuable person, somebody who has, interesting, educational, entertaining things to say. Then you begin to introduce and weave in your story, or it's not even your story, bits and pieces of who you are. I think telling your story in some autobiography way gets mixed in with just telling, or gets confused with just telling marketing stories. Marketers, one of the greatest marketing tools is storytelling. It's just simply because it helps people understand points easier, because we've been learning through stories for so long. It helps people retain information easier. That's what analogies are for. If I use an analogy, it helps somebody, and I use an analogy of something that somebody understands. If I want to talk to somebody about, internet marketing, and I'm over in Singapore, well, I might give them an analogy that they understand that's relevant to their culture. It helps them understand something. Same thing with us here, mostly an American audience. I use the fishing formula because it's an analogy that most people can understand, to help you understand complicated marketing concepts, like targeting an audience and the psychology of attracting people to your offers. There's a lot of things that you could get lost in the weeds with there explaining that. But when I just talk about going dadgum fishing, it's easy to understand. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I get that, right? And so the same thing goes with your story, friends. Your story is not meant to be something to trip you up. Don't even worry about telling your story. And I'm saying this for everybody who's listening, Jesse. I think you brought up a great point. We really think we need to do the most on those first videos, and we get ready to do so much. And what did you learn? I mean, what did you learn after all that? That it's not really as complicated or as I was making it?
Yeah, you brought up a great point. The first video is always the most awkward one, because you're like, do I introduce myself? Do I just go straight into talking about something? And, the key is just post the first video, because you may
Yeah.
get some views, you may not get some views. You just got to get it out of the way, and then kind of get in a groove, and kind of work your way up. So
Yeah, man. I have no idea what my first internet video was. I mean, I really don't. It's not gonna matter. Once you start creating content in marketing on a daily basis, you're not gonna remember what the heck you posted a week ago. It doesn't matter. What matters is what you're doing today. What matters is what you're doing today. I mean, I have people come up at our events, and it's look, I've done 1,000 in like 20 of these episodes. It's like people are like, come up and like, hey Dave, how you doing? I was on Wake Up Legendary. And I'm like, oh shit, tell me your name again, right? Because it's like, look, I'm only human, man. I mean, I've done over 1,000 of these episodes. Sometimes I need a little reminder. I forget sometimes. I forget what I talked about last week. It's not that guests aren't important. It's not that. It's just that what is important is what you're doing today. I always say, hey, let's have you back on the show, right? Let's have you back on the show and catch up. That's what's important. Let's plan stuff for the future. What you ate yesterday is not going to make you crap tomorrow. You gotta do new stuff, right? Teresa says, so true, Dave. The first video is everyone's struggle, my struggle. Listen to Jesse, man. Just post the dadgum thing. Just post it. It's not that you're not giving a State of the Union address. Likely nobody's even going to see it. Nobody's even going to see it. You just got to get it out. Get the first 10, get the first 20. You know, the faster that you post a bunch of videos on your profile, the faster that it's not an empty profile. That should be your race. Everybody's race should be the race to 100. Because you talked about a video that got you most of your followers. Roughly what video was that? Your 10th, your 100th, your 50th, your 500th? I mean, roughly.
It was probably, counting on this page, probably about my 70th or so post, maybe 80th.
Like I said, the race to 100. I mean, get 100 videos out. That should be everybody's mission. Get 100 videos posted. Suddenly, all of a sudden, your profiles are flooded. They get awesome content. You got follow. You're guaranteed. This is a guarantee I could make. I guarantee you post 100 videos, you're going to have some followers.
That's
go ahead. I'm ranting. I'm fired up, man. You're getting me fired up.
Well, one thing to, bring up on that, that video did well, but because I had posted all my other ones and they were quality information, even though at the time, they weren't getting much engagement, much comments. But when you have like a video go off, everything else that you've put on there kind of, gets attention, and everything after that and posts, The one thing I'll say too, I think a lot of people struggle in the beginning, talking about the limiting beliefs. Like, you kind of want to narrow your target audience down at some point, but I think a lot of people in the beginning try to get too specific. When you're in the beginning, you're really trying to get anybody to watch your content. And with me, I kind of was just posting quality stuff and kind of let my target audience come to me, just off, just like that. So that's just one thing that helped me in the beginning, is trying not to get too specific, especially when you're just trying to get views and, you're trying to test different stuff and stuff like that. So,
yeah. Well, anything that's tripping you up, that's making you, overthink or procrastinate, set it aside. I mean, done is always better than perfect, right? Done. Like, done. Getting something done is always better than it being perfect. And so whatever is tripping you up, whatever you think is really important and it's causing you to not take action, figure that out later. Just try stuff at first. Try, if you're deciding between a couple of different things, try them all. I mean, again, done is better than perfect. This is kind of the big thing this is the art and science of this. The science is learning all of the things that you're going to learn as you become more knowledgeable about online marketing. That's the science. The art is just testing stuff and not letting the information weigh you down or overwhelm you or get you into a perfectionism mode to where you're paralyzed by perfectionism. Jesse, what have you learned about yourself in this journey?
Really the most part, like I said, is just, getting outside of my comfort zone. I had probably absolutely zero experience with social media before this. I used to rodeo, and so I think the last video that I posted on my Instagram was like 2018. So just being able to not only create content, but learn how to edit it, which I use CapCut for my editing and stuff like that. I'm not really like a big tech person, but I can figure stuff out, once I know So kind of doing that and staying consistent too is another big thing. I found it, especially when you're still working full time, it's kind of hard to stay consistent. You want to post. I've been trying to post at least twice a day. So just being able to keep that up, that's kind of something that I didn't think I would be able to do, because I thought it would be more challenging than it is. But that's, something that I've learned, that if you show up, stay consistent, eventually, something takes off, and then you just kind of still learn and test and go from there, and just, continually to grow and stuff like that. And, one thing, obviously, I don't want to start another account, but one thing I want to learn too is, if I ever had to start another account, that I know how to grow another account, feel confident that I could do that, because it's just part of growing and, getting outside of your comfort zone. So,
Yeah, man. Well, that's awesome that you used to rodeo. Ride horses, bulls?
now I did the team roping, the
Okay.
roping part, calf roping. Me and my wife both, but I have a 3-year-old, and I was, ever since he's been born, that's kind of slowed down a little bit. So,
Yeah.
but it's part of it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
man. That's really cool. And I agree with, and I can relate to what you said there. Man, this is great for you. I love this, this journey that you're on. I love that you're here. You're trying new things, you're doing it uncomfortably. It looks good on you though, man. You should be proud of yourself. I'm sure your family is. And if they're still kind of wondering what the heck you're doing, they gonna figure it out. She's gonna figure it out when she gets to retire from her job, because that's your goal, and I know you're gonna accomplish that, man. Because you're a dedicated man. You're somebody who I can tell follows through with what you say you're gonna do. What's the best advice that you would give to everybody who's listening and following in your footsteps here?
um, like I said, it all starts with education, and then, being consistent and starting and having, it starts with the visual content, and just having, good quality content. And then, don't be scared to try different things, but then again, don't get too far, out of the box. Keep it, don't reinvent the wheel on some of the stuff. As you grow and you get more followers and stuff like that, I found it easier to, kind of get some more of my content in there, stuff that's more original for me and stuff like that, and you have more engagement. But at the end of the day, you just got to start. You got to start posting. You can't get any views if you don't, if you don't post a video. You can't grow a business if you don't post a video. So,
Yeah, and here we are, right, live. I mean,
live.
doing eating our own cooking, going live, posting videos. I mean, using email. All the things that we teach in our education are the things that we're all doing. We're not making our money through selling courses and coaching and events, but over here telling you to go sell stuff on Amazon. This is, we're eating our own cooking here, folks. And so, if this resonates with you, and this is what you're trying to do and build, the process is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. And you're demonstrating that one step at a time, brother. So thanks for your time today, man. I'm going to let you get back to work, brother. Thanks for joining us in your car where it all started. I love that story, man. Keep telling that story. Stay legendary, brother. Keep up the great work, and I can't wait to have you back for session number 2 in the near future if you join me again.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
All right. Talk to you soon, Jesse. Thanks, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, my friends, you can find Jesse over at create passive _ wealth. Okay, over on Instagram, create passive _ wealth. My friends, there you have it. I mean, great example, story, testimony of what is possible. and somebody who is doing it, man. I mean, just, nothing special, no flash and trash, no boom bang, just going, somebody who wants something different, who wants to pursue more, wants to retire his wife, and is putting in the time to invest the time, money, and energy to learn the skills, and then out here implementing them. 2024 is a year that Jesse will never forget because it's the beginning of his internet marketing career. And my hopes that 2024 is going to be a year that you never forget as well. My friends, we've talked about our accountability mentorship that we've launched recently. We've done interviews with Eric and Bonnie, our accountability coaches, and we're offering right now free coaching sessions with them to discuss where you're at, what you need help with, and if our accountability coaching program is right for you. If you want that free coaching session, which will likely be more valuable than, other things that you've paid for, because these two are so talented and just excellent at what they do, go ahead and email me at dave@legendarymarketer.com. You can put accountability call, accountability coaching in the subject line. You can write something in the body. It doesn't have to be, we'll know what you mean. And we'll set you up with a free call with Bonnie or Eric. And you guys can develop, get some value out of that time. You'll walk away again, whether you do our accountability coaching program or not, with some strategies and motivation and insights. These two are just that good at what they do, that any time with them is valuable to help you get on track. And you guys can talk about our program and see if working with us closely and have an accountability mentor over the next 6 months would be something that would benefit you. They'll give you all the details there on that free call. Just email me personally and I'll respond back, CC them in, and you two can take it from there. I'm looking forward to helping you all any way that we can. We want you to use our education and get results with it. That's what we want. We don't have new whiz bang, new trendy things, new things that are, working now and the old stuff isn't. What we teach here has worked as long as I've been on the internet for 13 years. Surely there's new strategies and skill sets that you can learn. Artificial intelligence has recently launched. It's a great way to help to boost your business, but the business models are the same. The business models are the same. And it's the same business model that so many, if not all of the gurus that you see online are making their money with. Even if they're teaching Amazon or drop shipping or real estate, you got to follow the money. How are they making their money? Through courses, coaching, events, or doing affiliate marketing. That's the way that they're making their money. You got to follow the money. You got to pay attention to what they do, not what they say. And that's what we teach here. It's what we've taught since day one, my friends. So we want you to learn these skills, and we want you to use the education that we have here, and we'll do anything to help you to implement it. So again, if you want a free coaching call, email me personally at dave@legendarymarketer.com, and I'll CC Bonnie or Eric in and get you connected with some free value, some free accountability, and then talk to you about our accountability coaching program and see if it's right for you. I want to thank Jesse one more time over at createpassive_wealth over on Instagram. Awesome episode today. Great job to you, my friends. My friend, you did a wonderful job, even though this was your very first live. So proud of you for doing that. You should be proud of yourself as well. If you all want a little reminder when we go live via Facebook Messenger, just click the link that I just posted in the comment section. Click the link that I just posted in the comment section and join our Messenger notification list, and we will give you a little ding at 10 a.m. Eastern time with a link to join the show. My friends, thank you for all the love for Jesse in the comments. You all are fantastic. Love you all. Thanks for the support. Make this worth doing the show every morning, right? This is it's fun, but it's also work. It's commitment, right? But you all hold me accountable to show up every single day and do this show, and unless Joanne's filling in for me, and she does just as great of a job. She's fantastic. If you don't know who she is, she's going to be hosting the show next week. Okay. My friends, we'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Okay. Get out of here. Have a great, productive day. Stay legendary. And thanks again, Jesse. Peace.